Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week 42 of the 25-26 EFL Championship season. We've only got 5 game weeks left and things are getting spicy at both the top and bottom ends of the table, and let's see how I did earlier in the week. And on Easter Monday I got 2 scorelines bang on. I got Derby beating Stoke 2-0 and Watford and Charlton drawing 1-1 correct, plus 4 more outcomes correct, so that is 10 points, taking my season total up to 301. I have broken the 300 point mark. And this is how the table looks after 41 matches played, and without further ado, let's predict this weekend's matches. And we're going to start with tonight's match, 8 PM kickoff. It's West Brom against Millwall, a big battle at both ends of the table. West Brom is at the Hawthorns, and West Brom are good at home. I like them, they're in good form at the minute. Millwall, they're an interesting one. Over Easter weekend they went and beat Middlesbrough, I believe 2-1, and then they went and lost 2-1 at home to Norwich, so that is a tricky one. I do think Millwall are still in this top 2 discussion, but you know, dropping points is not great. They are down to 3rd in the table. That's tricky though, because West Brom are fighting for survival. They're nearly there in the Championship, but I think they might actually get out of here with a draw, you know. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw on this one tonight. I think point wouldn't be, well, it's a better result for West Brom than it is for Millwall, but I do think it will be a point apiece. More points dropped for Millwall in their top 2 discussion. Next up, we've got QPR against Bristol City, and well, this is another interesting one. Bristol City with a 2 wins out of 2 now under Roy Hodgson as the new gaffer. This one's tricky because Roy Hodgson, I know he's only there for like 9 games, I think. Is it 7? It might be actually even be 7 games. But he's won 2 out of 2 so far. But QPR, they are on a good form as well themselves. They've won 4 on the bounce now. They're in good form as well. I think it might actually be Roy Hodgson's first points dropped since he went back to Bristol City here. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw on this one. I think the point wouldn't be a bad result for either, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Both sides seem to be on the beach at the minute. Next up, we've got maybe the biggest mismatch of the game week. It is top against bottom. It's Coventry City against Sheffield Wednesday, and well, yeah, as I said, big mismatch. Sheffield Wednesday are already relegated. Coventry are actually there or thereabouts. I think they only need about 4 more points to get promoted to the Premier League. Sheffield Wednesday, though, they are in good form. Well, they're not. They're not. But they did get a good 1-1 draw against Leicester last week, so I didn't necessarily expect that. But it's a good point for them. They're now minus 5 points. But this is at the CBS against the promotion-hungry Coventry side, and I think Cov will get all 3 points here. And I think they'll be quite comfortable, and it will be a party atmosphere. They're going to want to bring their goal difference up as well, given, you know, that might be the decide on whether they get promoted this weekend or not. I think if, you know, Millwall and Middlesbrough both drop points, then, you know, and Coventry win, then it may well be enough. With all that being said, I'm going Coventry to win 3-0. I think it's going to be, you know, I think it's going to be quite an easy win here for Cov, and 3 points closer to promotion, if not promotion. So 3-0 to Cov. And next up, we've got potentially game of the weekend in the Championship. It is the East Anglian derby. It's Norwich City against Ipswich Town. battle of two very informed sides. It's strangely enough, if you turn the clock back the last 20 games, Norwich and Ipswich are both level at the top of most points gained over the last 20 games in the division. And, well, the last time that Ipswich actually beat Norwich at Carrow Road was all the way back in 2006. The thing is, I know Ipswich are on good form right now, and they are, I think, alongside Coventry, my favourite for top two now, but I don't think it's going to go all their way. I think there could be goals in this one, but I do think that Norwich might get something here. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I'll go down the middle with a Desmond on this one. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. If Ipswich win, then they will very much be a favourite for promotion, but I think Norwich might come out here with a draw. I'll go 2-2, Desmond, and a point apiece. And next up, we've got Oxford United against Watford. A battle of the forwards. Nah. Watford, where are they? They're like, I think they're 10th in the table. They are, very much mid-table, but I think they're playing beach ball now. They're kind of on the beach now. Oxford have got a lot to play for. They're still 23rd, and they're still in the bottom three. But only by about a point, I think, from survival. And Oxford have been on great form recently. And Matt Bloomfield has got them really competitive this season, since coming in anyway. I think Oxford need the points more. I think Watford are on the beach, like I said. And I could see Oxford gain all 3 points here. They've looked good. Matt Bloomfield was, manager of the month contender for March, given what he did for the club. I think they might I don't think it'll be easy. I think it's going to be quite a scrappy, cagey match, but I do think Oxford will get the 3 points in the end. I'll go Oxford Tidge at 1-0. I think it's going to be close, but I do think the Oxers do get the 3 points, and a crucial 3 points at it as well. 1-0 to Oxford. Next up, we've got Leicester City against Swansea City in, another kind of like the other match, a side who's pretty much on the beach. I think they've survived. They're kind of mid-table, Swansea. I think they're like 16th in the league. Leicester are 22nd. They're still in the bottom three, and, they could only draw last week to Sheffield Wednesday, and things are looking bad for Leicester now. I'll be honest. I know they have Gary Rowett in. He's a good manager at this level for survival, but I don't know. And the thing is, yes, Swansea I do like. They have been on good form over the last few months, but their form's slightly tailing off a bit now, and I do prefer Swansea at home than I do on the road. I don't know where I'm getting this from. I think Leicester might win this. I keep backing them, and they keep letting me down here, but I just think surely at the King Power they'll get at least a point, but they need all 3 really to fight for survival this season. I'm going to give it to them. I don't know why, I have no logic for it, but I'm going Leicester to win 2-1. I think the Foxes need the 3 points, and I'm going to give it to them here. 2-1 to Leicester, but if they don't win now, then I am worried and probably won't be backing them as frequently anymore for the rest of the season. 2-1 to the Foxes. Next up, we've got Stoke City against Blackburn Rovers in, battle of, it's another game where it's like one side that doesn't have a lot to play for. They're on the beach against the Blackburn side, who is actually in good form, but they are still fighting for their lives in the Championship. this one's tricky. I know they've got Martin O'Neill. He's a good, well, since he's come in, Blackburn have been pretty competitive. But, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Blackburn came here and won 1-0, like they tend to do. At the minute, they tend to throw out cagey 3-point victories. But it is at the Bet365 Stadium, and I do like Stoke at home to get something here, and I do, as you very well know from previous videos, that I do rate Mark Robins quite highly as a manager at this level. You know, he brought Coventry to the playoffs twice. I think I will back Stoke to get something here. Maybe Blackburn are, you know, a goal up for a long time and Stoke find their last minute equaliser. I'll go for a 1-0 draw. I'll sit on the fence here. I think the Potters will just nab a point. 1-0. Next up, we've got Southampton against Derby County. And, well, instantly I look at this game and I think of Derby's injuries. Adjumang is out. That is a big blow. I think he's out long term. Like, he'll miss the rest of the season. He'll miss the World Cup, unfortunately. He's not going there with the United States. And then he may well be out for the majority of next season as well, which is a big blow for them. Heard a rumour that Ben Brereton Diaz will not be there either. He, you know, because he's still out on loan from us. And then we've got Southampton, who have blown everyone out the water recently. We, you know, in the FA Cup we did beat Arsenal 2-1, and then, what was it, Tuesday night we went and battered Wrexham 5-1 at the racecourse. So Southampton are flying. We are up to 6th. We have leapfrogged Wrexham back into the playoffs with that win against them, and it is at St Mary's as well. And just all of these signs point to a Southampton victory here. So I'll back the Saints, and quite heavy as well. I'll go Saints to win 3-1. I'll give Derby a goal because our defence isn't that great, but I think we've got more than enough goal power, goal fight to get the 3 points here. 3-1 Saints. Next up, we've got Middlesbrough against Portsmouth in a battle of two sides who are fighting at different ends of the table. Borough are 4th. They are fighting for the top 2. I think they're out of the top 2 by only goal difference. I think Ipswich, Millwall and Middlesbrough are all level on the same points. Right now, as it stands, it's very close. Portsmouth are 21st in the table. They're just outside the bottom 3. But they're winless in their last 8 matches. Only Sheffield Wednesday, winless in their last 35, have a worse record in terms of winless games. Borough's form has kind of fallen off a cliff in recent weeks, though, hasn't it? I mean, they've been drawing a lot. Haven't necessarily lost many, but they've been drawing a lot. But surely against Portsmouth, I think Borough will have enough here. They're going to want to win to potentially prevent Coventry from, well, you know, delay the inevitable of Coventry going up automatically. I think Borough will somehow get the win here. I'll go Borough to win 2-1. I think they'll edge it. I don't know how, but I think Borough will just find a way to get the hugely important 3 points here. 2-1 Borough. Next up, we've got Sheffield United against Hull City in, well, these are two sides who have, you know, they've been tricky to call this season. Well, recently anyway. I mean, Sheffield United are, 17th? They're actually, you know, they're survived, but only just. They're kind of, like I've said about quite a few teams in this video so far, you know, they're, you know, just kind of floating in mid-table. Hull are still in this playoff discussion. I've said it week after week now. They're 5th in the table. They actually managed a 0-0 draw against Coventry on Easter Monday on the late kickoff, but I think both teams can score, which is kind of stupid because, you know, both teams haven't been scoring boatloads of goals, but I think there might be goals in this one. I'll go for a 2-2 draw. I don't want to separate either sides, but yeah, I'll go for a 2-2 draw at Desmond on this one. Next up, we've got Charlton Athletic against Preston North End. And, well, this is an interesting one. I think, Preston, they've got some results over the line. I think they drew 2-2, which was an impressive result recently. But Charlton, I think they only need, realistically, maybe given everyone's form down the bottom, another win, maybe another draw to, officially cement their position in this division. I think at home they might just get it done, against a Preston side who once again don't have much to play for this season. I know they might yet be dragged into a relegation fight given their form, but I think Charlton might just get it over the line, I'll go for the trusting Nathan Jones 1-0 win. It could be a draw, but one thing's for sure, I don't see many goals in this one. I'm going to back Charlton for the trusted 1-0 win. And then finally we go to Sunday afternoon's match. It is Birmingham City against Wrexham in a battle of, two sides who came up together from League One last season. They've both, well cemented their position in the division now. Surprised me a bit to learn Birmingham are down to 16th in the league. I knew their form wasn't great, but wow, they've really dropped down the table. Wrexham are down to 7th. They've dropped out of the playoffs with their 5-1 defeat to us on Tuesday. But the thing is, it is at St Andrews. I do like Birmingham more at home, but Wrexham need to keep grinding out results and points if they want to make the top 6 as well. I think there could be goals in this one again. I think I'll go for another Desmond, another 2-2 draw here. I just think a point wouldn't be terrible for it. Well, it wouldn't be terrible for Birmingham. They don't have much to play for either now, but they'll try and, get ready for next season. But Wrexham do have something to play for. They're in the playoff fight, so I think a point wouldn't be great for them, given my other predictions this weekend. But I'm going to go for a Desmond, a 2-2 draw and a point apiece in this one. And there you have it, guys. This weekend's 12 championship matches predicted. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. And I'll see you all in the next one.